Alright friends, Miss Chastity here. I hope everyone at First Steps is doing really well and eating healthy and staying safe. This week we are continuing to learn about outer space. All week this week we've been reading our book, Little Kid's First Big Book of Space. And it is our first chapter book together, friends. This book is really informational. It gives us a lot of facts about space. And we have read each chapter and learned about all the different planets. We've learned about our solar system and galaxies. And the chapter we're reading today is Chapter 5, Exploring Space. Rockets. Astronauts and equipment need to ride on a rocket to reach space. The rocket blasts up into the air. That's called a launch. The rocket has to reach a speed of more than 7 miles a second to escape gravity. Some rockets put satellites into orbit around Earth. Satellites can help make maps, connect cell phones, and send television signals. Weather satellites help us know if we should dress for rain, snow, or sun. Do you remember? Here we go. International Space Station. The International Space Station, or ISS, orbits Earth. It was built for astronauts to work and live for a few weeks or months. Astronauts sometimes leave the ISS to work outside the station. They take a walk in space. There is no air in space, and it is very cold, so an astronaut wears protective spacesuit. Friends, the ISS is about the size of a football field. Do you think it would be fun to wear a spacesuit and walk in space like astronauts? A spacesuit has many parts to protect the astronaut. Space helmet with sun vision, a sun visor, heated gloves to keep their hands warm, stripe to identify astronauts, and space boots as well as life support backup. Telescopes. A telescope helps people see things that are too far away in space to see with only their eyes. When you look through a telescope, things seem closer and bigger. Astronomers use huge, powerful telescopes to study space. You can use a much smaller telescope at home, though. Some of the largest telescopes on Earth are on top of mountains where the air is clearer. Do you guys see? This is a huge telescope. And this is a small telescope you could use in the backyard with your mommies and daddies. A school bus-sized telescope called the Hubble Space Telescope orbits Earth. The Hubble telescope has taken more than 1 million pictures of planets, stars, and galaxies since 1990. It took these space photos. Do you guys see these awesome? Look, this is a red supergiant star, and this is the Cat's Eye Nebula. Flying above the atmosphere, the Hubble has an even better view of space than the telescopes on top of mountains. In 2018, a new telescope will take the place of Hubble. It is called the James Webb Space Telescope. It will be able to see farther and more clear than ever before. Goldilocks Zone. Friends, we read Three Bears in the Goldilocks all the time. And this is called the Goldilocks Zone. Let's learn about it. Scientists wonder whether there is any other planet that has life on it. They are looking for other planets like Earth that are in the Goldilocks Zone. That means the planet is just the right distance from its star so that it is neither too hot nor too cold. It is in the right place to have life. There are probably many planets in Goldilocks zones outside of our solar system. Friends, the Goldilocks Zone. Remember when we read the Three Bears and Goldilocks? They call it the Goldilocks Zone because the Goldilocks Zone is just right. It's not when it's too hot on the planet or too cold on the planet. It's just right. Just like how Goldilocks thought the porridge and the bed and the chair were just right for her. Living on Mars? Scientists think that someday people will visit Mars, but that won't happen for a very long time. Before that, people like you may be able to travel into space in a spacecraft that looks like an airplane. This is a Virgin Galactic spacecraft on a test flight over California. If there is a space station on Mars when you are grown up, do you think you would like to visit? Friends, would you visit a space station on Mars? An artist imagined this motorhome for explorers on Mars to use someday. That would be so cool, friends. Friends, I believe this is officially the end of our book. All right, friends, we completed our first ever chapter book together. So let's go over what we've learned just a little bit. Here is our solar system. Here's our sun, and then there's Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Cyrus is here in the asteroid belt, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, Haumea, Makemake, and Iris. Those are all of our... Now remember, friends, we want to remember that Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars, all in the orange, are our rocky planets. Our gas giants are in our green zone. So our Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune are our gas giants, and our dwarf planets are in the purple. And our dwarf planets are Cyrus, Pluto, Haumea, Makemake, and Iris. And that was the end of our first ever chapter book. The end. I hope you guys enjoyed learning this book, and I hope you guys enjoyed reading this book with Miss Chastity and learning all about space. And I will be wishing you well, and I've enjoyed learning about space with you this week. Bye. Miss Chastity loves you.